You want it on the same page, right, as the other ones?
Yes, I do want it on the same page as the other ones. However, the reason I opened it up this way is because this allows me to keep my two separate layers. Not that it technically matters if you have only two layers and they are graphically separate from one another. It's just best practice to be in the habit of doing that, because when you're doing like your section, remember when we did our building sections, we had to do open because it kept all the layers even though they were all intertwined. So anyway, what we have here is the full diagram. One of the things that I want to do here is bring it onto this sheet and size it appropriately. So I don't recall if I hid my rulers. I might have deleted them. Oh, look at that. Hold on. Document setup. Edit artboards.
How do you do what?
I'm just trying to check something because I've got 70.
Yeah, I have 72.
What happened?
Does it change it to points?
It like moved the whole thing over.
There it is.
It is 11 by 17 inches. I don't know why the rulers are reading points.
Oh,
Can't you go
go
to like
that
options or
the color
something?
and draw a paper. They will come back to zero.
Oh, did I? No. I forget how to do this.
No, go to the corner.
Oh, there you
I
go.
don't understand what you're saying.
Oh,
Hold on.
Didn't do it.
All right, so Yi Yang pulled out this really awesome cool button here. I don't know why our rulers got disoriented, but this little button in the top left corner, right up there, that will realign to the top left corner of your page or your active workboard. Yeah, okay. Anyway.
Did we delete the old guides?
Actually, hold on, that didn't do it right, because that just aligned it to the left. Hold on a sec. Change global rulers.
Mine adjusted both.
I think you can just drag it to the corner.
Yeah, that's annoying. There's got to be a way to set it globally.
I just did it that way and they did it.
Yeah.
You did both at the same time. Okay. Yeah, there should be a global setting for that. I don't. I'm not the expert on that kind of format stuff. So, all right. So what we have here is our diagram. We have our other file here, and what we have to do is copy this over, drop it onto the other page, and make sure it's the same size. So I believe it looks like we did. That's right. We did 1/2 inch. Are my guides hidden? Oh, okay, there we go. I'll get rid of some of my extra guides here.
How'd they do that again? Just highlight them or?
I had lock guides on. I don't know why that made them hidden. It should not have, but it did. There's some weird things going on with this today. Anyway, so if you unlock guides, I guess it will make it show. So we have a 1/2 inch margin on either side, and so I select all the information I have here. I can control copy and control V to paste. And at this point, what I do is drag it so that it matches either side. Now, what's very important to note is that the graph that you made a copy of, this line work graph, needs to be within the boundaries of the actual graph text that are on either side. The reason is if I go back to its original size, like this, and I move this over to the side like that, right? So they're offset a little bit. The problem I'm going to have is that when I size it up to the margin, on one side, that's all well and good, it matches. On the other side, if I size it up to the margin, that doesn't match anymore, right? Because the extents of this diagram is supposed to match from text to text on the original. Does that make sense?
Top one first to line it up.
So if you can, like this graph happens to be smaller. If you can, you want to size them up both at the same time. If you can't, then you can eyeball it or approximate it, or you can do it by setting up extra grids once you've already sized it up, you can put a grid around it and then use that to lock onto. So yet again, we'll pull this out. Okay. All right. Okay, so what I have to do here is take my two graphs. So this one is on the ladybug layer, so I'm going to rename that. I'm going to call it radiation graph. And this one is the top one, so I'll rename that one to temp graph for temperature. Let's see, and then layer 1 is my graph overlay for the radiation graph overlay. So this one I'll call just rad overlay, radiation overlay. And then here comes the really easy part, or so I think. All you really have to do is just select, actually, sorry, let me do one thing first. These layers, they physically exist over top of one another. So if I want my line work to appear above my other line work, I have to move the layer up to the top. So you just click and drag and pull it up above the other one. So now radiation overlay exists above radiation graph. So I can change the color to whatever I want it to be. If I want it to be white, I'll make it white. If I want something like a 3-point thickness, that's fine. And then it's as simple as just click and drag, and it's going to be a little laggy. Click and drag and drop it onto the accurate location over top of the graph like that. You might need to zoom in to the corner to make sure it's exact. If your graph is off a little bit, oops. If your graph is kind of off a little bit like this, you can grab the path and just kind of yank it back onto the corner like that. Okay. So we're going to do one more thing here on this graph, and I think it's significant because we're going to actually relate it to our winter months when we want to heat. So yeah. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm thinking. Yeah, I'll do that in a separate segment. But really what I'm going to do here real fast is just pull the information closer. Like this. And the other thing I'm going to do is borrow the overlay from the graph above so that I can block out the areas that I'm not interested in the graph below. So I'm going to take this overlay and paste it. Looks like this overlay is going to have to move up too. And I'm going to paste it down to align It's really laggy. There are a lot of hatches. But this one though, I'm going to pull across. Oh, I really got to zoom in. That's kind of a drag. I need to pull across so that it blocks out the summer months too. The reason for that is I am going to do a separate analysis diagram for that. Okay. Questions on this so far? What's that?
I think you lost me.
Sorry, I did kind of a bunch of things at once. Really, all I did was I sized it up. I talked for like 4 minutes, 5 minutes about just sizing it up. Then I took my graph that was above, and I just moved it over top.
Okay.
And then I changed the graphics how it looks. So I made it white. I made it thicker lines so that it appears like this. And then I brought down this overlay. I just copied and pasted it down here, and I stretched it across.
To the other.
Yeah.
That's how you did?
Yep. So what I'm going to do with this, in case you're wondering, is give myself some way to look at these months, and I'm going to create sort of a datum line that tells me what hours I have to block out. Yeah. Okay? Questions?